Hello Guardians, and welcome to my next video into the lore of Destiny. Today we're going to cover, as promised, the Battle of Twilight Gap, what happened, who took a major role within it, and what the outcome of it was. So I'm going to start things off with when the Battle of Twilight Gap actually happened. Now, although there's no precise time frame of exactly when it did happen, all we do know is that it was in early days of the last city, and when the towers being formed, etc., along with the vanguard being formed. It was the third main battle to take place during the lifespan of the last city, possibly even including the Red War. A lot was learnt from the battle, in which certain events took place after it in order for something such a thing to never happen again. So, what exactly happened in the Battle of Twilight Gap? Well, let's start from the beginning, which is where the best place tends to be. The last city stood strong, growing and expanding, the Golden Age far gone, and the Traveller resting in its place, asleep. Not awake, of course. But this was not to remain. The Fallen and its many different factions, or houses as that's what they call them, made an alliance which would eventually test the defences and guardians of the last city. The main organiser of this alliance was the Kell of the House of Kings, who manipulated the other houses into this alliance, but one house never took part in this battle. This was due to the Queen of the Reef, who had intercepted a message from the Fallen and stopped the House of Wolves from ever taking part, but also causing another war in the Reef, but that's for another video, guys. Even the House of Winter took part in the Battle of Twilight Gap, coming all the way from Venus, so it weren't just the Fallen on Earth that took part in this war. This alliance between the three houses, Devils, Winter and Kings, were the three alliances that took part, proved to be a menacing assault for what is now known as the Vanguard. The ultimate goal of this assault, the capture of the Traveller, which seems to be a recurring thing throughout Destiny. And not only that, but Osiris could be right when he says that the Traveller is a curse, because all these battles seem to occur around the Traveller. Now, how did the city respond to this alliance and the assault to capture the Traveller? Well, every guardian in the city was sent to defend at all costs. Titans smashed through Fallen, knocking them down like daisies, but more and more just followed. Warlocks used their magic to break their shields and defences, while Hunters just did their thing. There's not really a mention of what Hunters did, unless you've heard about Anna Bray, of course. Even some of the well-known Guardians took place in this battle. Shaxx, Saladin, Zavala all had major roles in the outcome of this war. Saladin was the commander of the defence against this assault, while Zavala and Shaxx were his apprentices. Now, that's a massive statement. Zavala and Shaxx as apprentices? You know, we know them as pretty much being the leaders of the Vanguard. So this is how long ago this battle took place. The weapon Thunderlord also had a major role in this battle, shredding through waves of fallen Vandals with its arc's prowess. So obviously you can imagine someone there with a machine gun and this arc just causing chaos throughout the waves of fallen. In the end, Lord Saladin Forge, which is his full name, commanded all his guardians to stand their ground and outwait the onslaught of the fallen, knowing that they couldn't keep it up forever, but that also could go for both sides. So the fort had eventually been overrun, meaning that the Fallen were breaking through, they were gaining ground. Now, even though Saladin commanded Shaxx and Zavala to stand their ground, Shaxx didn't stand strong with this decision. So instead he took a group of Guardians to counterattack the Fallen and press forward. This move eventually made the Fallen lead away and basically led to the victory of this battle. That single decision is what caused this victory. But was it truly a victory? With thousands of Guardians dead and ground lost to the Fallen, the city smaller than what it was, and left weakened and vulnerable without a doubt. This led to the way the Vanguard would work in the future and to how it stands to this day. The decision from Shaxx to lead a counterattack may have helped win this battle, but it leaves our sour relationship between the two that still stands to this day. So Saladin and Shaxx still don't see eye to eye because of the simple fact that Shaxx ignored his command. Because of one simple fact, Saladin believes that his decision could have saved more Guardians that day. Obviously, Shaxx leaving his post would have meant that Zavala would have had standing ground, with his less guardians than he would have had if Shaxx would have stood beside him. Now, Zavala and Shaxx don't exactly see each other as enemies, but you don't also see them working together either in the game, which could mean there's a bit of a sour relationship there, but we don't know. From the outcome of this battle, Shaxx put forward a training regime of the Crucible, which is the Crucible we know today, in order to train Guardians and make them stronger in case a battle like this ever took part again. It would mean that Guardians wouldn't lose their lives so easily. On the other hand, Zavala became the new commander of the Vanguard, so obviously Saladin either got stepped down or the Speaker commanded that Zavala would be the new commander. Not too sure there on how that happened because I've not found much information into it, but one way or another Saladin stepped down and Zavala became the new commander of the Vanguard. All this was arranged by the Speaker to ensure the city could prevent the Fallen from attacking again, or any other enemy for that matter. But as the Red War proved more recently, they could never be ready. As part of preventing enemies building up like this, the Vanguard also made strike missions to prevent the enemies ever gaining an advantage over the city, which is where a lot of the strikes, including in today's Destiny 2, are put about in order to weaken the enemy, in order to make them to retreat, to stop them ever thinking they can put an alliance like this together to overtake the city. There has been many other outcomes from this battle as well, and one of them was the rocket launcher we all love, which is Galahorn, which was forged from the armour of all the downed Guardians in the battle. Made by a certain person called Faisal Crux. More on him later when I can find more information as well, I'll do a separate video on him. But he also made Dragon's Breath and the Truth rocket launchers later on. As mentioned previously as well in the video before this, if you've not watched it then there'll be a link at the end of this video. Anna Bray was a member of this battle who shone brightly. See the previous video for more information on that. That pretty much wraps it up for the Battle of the Twilight Gap. There is probably more details on it, but this was what I felt was the most relevant. Perhaps if the Queen of the Reef didn't intercept the House of Wolves and start the Reef Wars, this battle would have had a different outcome, because there would have been more Fallen to reinforce their alliance. But that's something that can be left to the imagination of you. Next up, I'll be covering videos on the different houses that we've spoke about of the Fallen from this video, so you can see why they all had this common goal to create an alliance, which inevitably fell apart upon the loss of this battle, meaning that the houses then became separate factions again. Thanks for watching, Guardians. If you found this video interesting, please feel free to show some support and subscribe and hit that like button. See you out there, Guardians.